Between you and me, map videos make me nervous because, especially this one, we've done map videos in the past, but the thing with map videos is sometimes they go quick, and there's a lot of details that can be missed. And I know for a fact I'm about to get a crap load of things I'm gonna miss from this video, which is from a content creator, by the way, known as Ollie. Literally their title, their name should be in the title of this video of what I'm reacting to, and the link to this video should be in the description. And yeah, so we're gonna be learning about the history of the entire world mapped out. You know, guys, I'm warning you, I'm gonna probably miss a crap load of things. Probably not gonna get it all. I apologize in advance. But let's get to it, shall we? Let's watch the history of the world every year. Or at least to the year 2016. Wow, this video came out when I was like a sophomore. Wow. The mapping community? Every year. Okay, so these are the brackets which he's going to, oh boy, okay, so, global population, alright. Oh, cool, so like, wait, I'll hold off on that. Alright, politics, diplomacy, okay. Society and culture, modern humans appear. Inventions and discoveries. Embryonic civilization. Okay, so I'm guessing that's the gray. You know what's funny is that, you know, I've often heard that, like, it's a claim that life began in Africa, like early human, like, life. That's just something I've heard. I'm not gonna push that out as it's absolute fact. I never want to do that. It's just it is a popular thing I've heard, like a theory and whatnot, that human life began in Africa, and that's an interesting idea. I mean, I'm for those of you who don't know, I'm Christian. I have you know, my own ideas of how human life began, though a lot of the Bible takes place in the Middle East, like in Africa here. Yeah, so it is interesting, I must say. Okay, yeah, so I'm guessing the gray. So it's interesting he's starting the gray here in Africa, because it seems to kind of support that idea. Okay. Heck yeah. Humanity, baby! I'm wondering if the music for this video is copyright. Okay, humans have reached India. Cool, we've made it to China. Turbo catastrophe. Okay. Okay, wait, I missed some. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. Sangone culture develops. First bone tools. Okay. Okay, humans reach Australia. Okay. Early stoneworking tools in Europe. Stoneworking in Mesopotamia. Cool, we've got a few civilizations already forming. Dang, just look at everywhere. we just spread everywhere. Well, except here, but you know. Okay, Near East enters Neolith. Cattle domesticated in Anatolia. Oh wow. Wheat in Indus Valley, okay. China, okay. First cities appeared in Anatolia, huh. Alright. Pigs domesticated. Oh my god. Okay. You know what's interesting? Something else I've heard. I remember a long time ago, when I was a little kid, that I must have learned this in school or something, but that there were 5 of the oldest civilizations in the world that are still around today. I only remember 2 from that list, and I remember I must have heard this when I was like 4 or 5, but yet it's for some reason it has stuck in my head. At least 2 of the answers. The first is China, and the other was Egypt. In terms, I guess, of some of the oldest civilizations still kind of around, you know? Well, they are, but, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know why, and it's cool to see, like, China over here, because that's just giving me, like, a flashback to when I heard that as a little kid. Ores and using. Oh, wow. Copper and rice in China already. Oh wow, Mexico. Alcoholic fermentation in Egypt. Heck yeah, we needed alcohol. I'm joking, I don't drink. Copper. Potter's wheel. Oh yes, the horse is domesticated in the steppes. That's what I've heard, that the steppes are some of where the earliest places where humanity, you know, tamed the horse. Which, boy, would that change the world forever, huh? Linen, silk, and China. Wheel and Sumer, eh? Egyptian numeral system, yes. Egypt right here. Sail developed in Egypt. Okay, yes. Advanced civilizations, Egypt. You know, I often heard that in terms of, like, world superpowers, that Egypt is considered, the first in terms of just, like a superpower, you know what I mean? Like, as an empire, and definitely at its peak, was probably one of the most, if not the most, advanced civilization of its time. The Egyptian Empire, and, like, in terms of the theological aspect, some of the big 5 empires go as follows. It's Egypt, and then it's Persia, and then it's the Greeks after. Then oh, I forgot. Alright, before the Persians, it's the Babylonians. So yeah, Egyptians, Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and then Rome. So those are like the big 5 mentioned in theology, you know? Not to be misconstrued with Daniel's statue. In terms of just the big empires mentioned, like in Abrahamic religion, lore, such as the Bible, you know? Yeah, Egyptian pantheon. Villages in Mexico, wow. Oh snap. Bronze work. Okay. The Assyrians, the Egyptians. Alright. The Sphinx, okay, cool. Sphinx is created. Yes, the Akkadian Empire. Sorry, it's the writing's a bit low, but yes, the Akkadian Empire. Actually, when I was doing a quick Google search a while back, I was like, what's the first empire in in the world? And like Google and a lot of sources point towards the Akkadian Empire as the first empire of the world, which I thought was really cool. And even the phalanx, which is usually associated with the Greeks, probably started around this region, and with a guy named Sargon, so oh, that was interesting. Oh yes, and the Indus Valley civilization, can't forget that. The Middle Kingdom. Yeah, guys, I've just given up reading the lower ones. I mean, no, I still skim it, but I'm trying to keep up with with mainly just the advanced civilizations and the changing borders. Because these are going way too quick. I apologize. I am so sorry. But I am still gonna be skimming it. Just, you know, my main focus is gonna be around here. Alright, just keeping track. Alright, the Hittites. Egyptians still around, old China. Alright, good. Assyria and Babylon, heck yeah. I quickly want to comment. Yeah, Egypt's old AF, right? Like, this is just the Middle Kingdom. But, the Assyrians, man. I want to quickly comment. The Assyrian Empire is probably one of the scariest empires I've ever learned about. Like, have you ever heard about their torture and killing methods? Like, these guys were terrifying. Like, they were really an empire built on, like, the policy of brutality. Like, they're some of the most terrifying, it's probably, in my opinion, the most terrifying empire in terms of just what they did, and some of their, like, art depicting what they did. And, you know, it's so interesting because I remember when I was, like, kind of Googling about the Assyrian empires, the topic of PTSD and some of its earliest forms appeared, and, you know, some sources date back to Assyrian soldiers, you know, claiming to see the ghost of the people they've killed, and that's been cited as like an early sign, one of the earliest depictions of PTSD, when these soldiers saw dead, you know, people that they killed. So, you know, they eventually wore down. They really were, like, you could kind of view as an evil empire. And granted, I know times were different, thousands and thousands of years ago, but, you know, those guys scared me. I don't mind that their empire fell. The New Kingdom? Dang it.
Spectrum Mobile Health.
The time of the Greeks, yeah, I noticed they popped up too. Just look at how Egypt rebounded. Pop back up. Canaanites. Yeah, the Trojan War. It's interesting that they mention that because I think there's actually proof about that there were, like, there's actual technically evidence that the Trojan War happened. Though probably not the way the Iliad describes with all the gods and Achilles and all that. You know. But it is an interesting thing. And, you know, we're in the Mycenaean era of Greece before it falls into the Dark Age, and then it eventually rebounds into the ancient classical period that I think we're all more associated with. Though in my last class, before I graduated my university, my last semester, we actually read the Odyssey, and it kind of led me to, like, study a lot about, you know, the era of, like, the Bronze Age of Greece, you know, and kind of the awesome armor that they wore, even though they look like tin cans, golden tin cans. But I don't know, it led me down in a rabbit hole, and I actually ended up going to Greece. Well, we'll get there later. But for now, we're just watching around the Bronze Age ish. We're around or a bit past. I missed that. Okay. Look at these guys all collapsing. Egypt, Greece, holy crap. Egypt already has gone from, like, small to big, back to small. You know? David rules Israel. Okay. That's cool. Some biblical narratives in there. I mean, granted, there is evidence of King David. You know what I mean. You know. Let's see. Okay. Okay, Assyria. It's kind of cool to see some of these guys keep bouncing back. Like, they're almost beaten back to, like, being very small and almost obscure, and they just keep bouncing back up. You know, like, it's almost like, oh, they're gone, and now they just pop back up in the map. I don't know, that's just kind of cool to see. Like, some of these guys did not completely die off. Works of Homer, heck, at Carthage. Oh, heck yeah, Rome has been founded, heck yeah. Okay, yeah, we're in the. I do also know about the narrative of the Syrian Empire, mainly from some theological studies of mine, and how they conquered Israel. And there's even like the legend of the lost 10 tribes of Israel, because Israel was said to have been like 12, and 10 of them were conquered by the Assyrians and are never mentioned again for the rest of like the Bible. Like, well, they are mentioned, but like they're, the narrative changes. I don't know. It's interesting. I promise I won't make this all biblical, but it's kind of like where I just know some of these like things from. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of some of the basis of my understanding. And notice how Babylon comes back to just devour the Assyrians after it was devoured itself. It's kind of cool. I guess that's probably the most interesting aspect. Just watching some of these empires or like things kind of fall off the map and then just suddenly be rebirthed. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, yeah, look at the Achaemenid Persian Empire, the Chongards being like... Yeah, it's kind of putting into perspective, like, it's the first empire so far we see in the world that's, like, really big. I mean, we've seen empires like Egypt, the Assyrians, but I like seeing just how much bigger it's getting, because as of right now, yeah, they're the biggest empire at the world at this point. Just look at that, like a chonker. I can't wait till we get near the end of this video where just everything is filled, and like everything's big and much bigger. Dude, I just had a thought. Like this must be how God sees everything. Like this view, just everything's like expanding and stuff. Like, I wonder if this is how like God sees everything. You know? Oh well. Okay, I'm just looking around India and all these different provinces and stuff, and also keeping my eye on China as it's broken, but it's slowly coming back together. China breaks, comes back together, breaks, come back together, you know? That's kind of the old trend and meme. Meanwhile, we also just witnessed the Persians try to invade Greece and get beat up, so we're around here. Oh, and the emergence of Carthage as a power. Oh my god. Holy crap, Alexander just blew into the scene. And immediately break. Holy crap, that's just how fast we're moving, huh, guys? Like, yeah. Okay, I wanted to wait for the Greek thing to appear here. For those of you who don't know, I went to Greece back in May. I've been a big nerd for the Greeks, right? Like, it's been I would say they're my favorite civilization to learn from ever since I was a kid. I've been, like, interested in Greek mythology and whatnot. And, you know, like, last year, really, I got really into the Greeks once again when I took a class on mythology where we covered a lot of Greek, like Ovid's Metamorphoses and, like, the Greek mythology. And I was like, I just want to go and see Greece, and I did. And it was really fun. I loved it. It was like a dream come true. It's the first time I've left the American continent to go to Europe, and I loved it. I saw Athens, the Parthenon, the Acropolis, did some island hopping to Naxos, Samos, Paros. It was fun. I also went to France, but I think I'll mention that later. But yeah, I've been I'm obsessed with Greeks, and the Diadochi era is probably my favorite era in history because it has everything I love in like battles and tactics, like, you know, pikes, the sarissa, my favorite weapon, war elephants, my favorite animal, Greeks, my favorite people to learn about. Like, it has everything. The Diadochi era just rocks. It's my favorite era in the world. That's why I'm glad we covered it from Kings and Generals. So I wish I could have enjoyed it more. I was trying to just pump out videos, get through it. Sometimes I feel like I never fully get to simmer down and enjoy a series. But yeah, you know, duty calls and videos must be seen. Seleucus. And I'm also really interested in the Seleucid Empire. It's actually something I've been obsessed with for a while since my birthday back in February. So I've actually been looking at videos about it. Like, it's probably it's probably the empire at the most I'm most interested at the moment. And a very underrated one. Where's okay. Okay. China is fully back together, heck yeah. Yeah, so this is like the Hellenized period, at least around here in the middle. Yeah, and just Rome, oh my gosh, just in the emergence of Rome is gonna be wild as the Parthia, like, eras we're more familiar with and we covered on this channel, as everything suddenly starts to become very much more familiar, huh? Boy, we have covered this era in human history so much in this channel with so many Rome videos, but it's cool to just see Rome, you know? Goodbye, Parthia, hello, Sassanids. And China's fracture. It really isn't. It is kind of funny to see how China just splinters and regrows, huh? It's not just a meme. From Bill Warts or Watts, I forgot the guy's name. But it is true. Just, I've been keeping my eye on China, just, like, you know. Also, I've been interested in just how splintered India has been. Like, it hasn't just been, like, or at least I may have missed it, but it hasn't been, like, one full thing. It's so far been, like, always kind of splintered, you know? Which I find super interesting, actually. And, the Funa. Okay, sorry, some of these color codes. Okay. Tito Chitlan. Okay, yeah. Also keeping my eye here on the American continent. Alright. Day. Goodbye, Western Rome. You know what I find interesting? That the American continent, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna pick up any time now, but notice how, like, a lot of the action in world history happens, like, around here from, you know, especially, like, the Middle East, the Anatolian, like, Africa, Middle East, segueing into Europe kind of area, and obviously here all the way to, you know, the Far East here in China. Like, a lot of human history and the change has just been around so far in this area. That's so interesting. Like, this has been, like, the main source of the action. Meanwhile, by comparison, like, here, which was much slower in terms of the majority of history, you know? Yeah, in terms of just getting too advanced. The Byzantine Empire turning to the Greek colors. Oh man, look at it get eaten. Heck yeah, we just covered the rise of the early Muslim expansion by kings in general, so like I'm saying, I'm so happy to just be at a point where just everything is getting familiar, you know? Slavic? Or Nubi? Sorry, I'm trying to look also around here. The fracture of the opposites. I'm sorry guys, I'm really trying to focus so hard right now. Everything's changing so quick. Alright, I'm also keeping my eye on just how Europe is developing. France, the Holy Roman Empire, Hungary, Poland, the Kievan Rus, soon to be Russia. Okay, Norway. Alright. Oh my god. Just look at the Mongol Empire just... Oh my gosh. You know, I actually had heard that the Mongol Empire is the largest interconnected land empire in the world. And you can see why. Look at that. Just... Okay. Okay, good. Heck yeah, the Timurid Empire. Timur scared me as a person, you know? Goodbye, Rome. Or, yeah. Yes, the Inca Empire. Okay, I'm happy to see a bit more bigger things appearing here. The Inca Empire, the Aztecs, some of the biggest and most influential here. Like, for those of you who don't know, in case you can't tell, I am a Latino and Hispanic. Though my heritage in terms of my family actually hails from Central America. Salvador, I'm half Salvadorian, half Nicaraguense, so my blood's more around here. Yeah. So let's see. As you see the Spanish show up everywhere. Like, there was a time like where the Spanish and the Portuguese were just vying for the entire world practically, right? And Russia. Holy crap, I love this because everything's familiar, so much more familiar. I love that as the video progresses. That's kind of the cool part about this, you know, starting off all these smaller civilizations, you're like, what's going on? And then just seeing everything. It really is just beautiful, though. Just how, like, everything happened. Like, it is just an amazing thing to witness, just how we as a species just took the world, you know what I mean? And again, freaking the Spanish and Portuguese, holy crap, look at that. Again, Napoleonic Wars have started. Oh my goodness, you know, yeah, like with the Spanish and the Portuguese, obviously I've always heard a lot about what they accomplished in terms of when they were at their peaks, how they kind of were trying to vie for the world. At least that's, you know, a more dramatic way of saying it, yeah, but just seeing just the influence here, right? It's just wild to me. We haven't covered much from the American continent in this channel. A lot of my videos mainly stick to here. Mainly because like I'm usually not interested in covering too much about America and the American continent, mainly just because I'm a bit too familiar in some aspects with it, you know, and I kind of like learning more about what's going on westward here, but yeah, it's still cool to see though, I think, and just the long-term effects it has, you know. And so much is going on with Africa. Like, I just don't know what to say with Africa, you know? And wow, just look at when everything's rising to be such a big power, you know? Cool, Egypt. Okay, bye, Egypt. The United States, heck yeah. America, heck yeah. My home. Yeah, I was born and raised in America. So I am American. I'm just, when I'm talking about my blood, like here in Nicaragua, this is where my family actually hails from. I'm the first of my family to be born here in America. My dad was Salvadorian, so my mom tells me, so yeah, that's cool, just seeing so much more happen here. Yeah, we're more in the modern era now, Cold World War II coming up. But now gone, but yeah. I'm telling you guys, if you blink, you miss everything. Wow. Alright, let me get the money, the final shot. Just look at that. And everything is connected. Everything is as it should be. At least how it completely was back in 2016. Wow. Well, okay, that was just cool to witness, you know? Again, I think the coolest part of this aspect is just seeing just the nothingness as everything just continues to expand and grow. I'm telling you, this is like probably what God saw in human history. Just the divine perspective. Just like look at that everywhere. The world is now just shown up. I really like this, and I want to apologize humbly that I know I missed a lot, and you know, at this point I kind of even stopped looking down here because I was just trying to keep up with the color coding and just keep up with the main everything expanding. So again, map videos make me nervous because, like I said, you know, we've done others and those went well, but this one was huge. This is the kind of video that you would need to play at like, let's see, probably like the slowest playback speed. And watch like that, right? I unfortunately didn't do that, but yeah, overall, like I have to say, this was a great video, and I just like seeing just how us as like a species again just blew up and took everything. I think it's just such a unique thing, you know? And like so much happened. Man, guys. That was cool. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video right here. Again, apologies, I'm sure I missed so much in this video, and I apologize for everything I missed, that maybe you wanted me to see something and I didn't fully see it or acknowledge it. Again, I apologize. But yeah.